All right, we got Guy and Paul from the Choirboys, great band. You guys in New York right now?
Close, no, closer, somewhere close to Boston. We're at Tori's house from Enough's Enough because
Okay,
we have a day off today and hoping to do a barbecue for July 4th and all that.
Yeah, beautiful setting.
Yeah.
it looks nice, nice. Are you guys excited to play the Bowery tomorrow? That's a cool gig.
Absolutely. Listen, New York City is my favorite place on the planet. So, you know, we can't wait.
We've never played there before as a electric. I don't think. I think we only played there acoustic.
Yeah.
Last time.
Yeah.
So this will be, it'll be fun.
Cool, yeah. And New York City definitely embraces the Choirboys. You have your new album coming out that just it sounds so cool. You have all these guests on it. I think that's pretty interesting how you approached it. Was that something you thought out or just evolved?
something we'd sort of spoke about doing, but it never, for various reasons, never happened. But we were able to make it happen now, and there's a few guests on there. It's we're still in the sort of trying to finish off the last couple of tracks, basically chasing people down because you're trying to get people. Everyone's sort of committed to being on the record, but a lot of people are out on the road, and so it's just trying to get all the schedules to match up. But it's going to be probably about four, maybe 5 tracks that have guests on, and then the rest will just be, will be us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
cool.
our new single, which will be, the video will be released on the 14th as a collaboration with Buck Cherry.
I heard that with Josh and Stevie. That sounds really cool.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great track, and the video is pretty stunning. So I'm pretty excited that people will see that.
How did you approach that song? What was the approach? Did you write it with them? Did you send it to them? What was the approach?
It was just sent ideas back and forth. They sent a couple of ideas over to me, and then they just said make it into your song, And so I wrote and I had added some lyrics and stuff, but it sounds like us, but slightly different.
Totally.
The thing is, it's to me, as Guy said, they sent the song over. Guy added some lyrics. It was sent to me. It's a real summer, just a song that everybody could like.
Yeah, and very relatable. I just went through a breakup, and I was hearing it was hitting me a certain way. I was like, "Wow, this is really, really cool." I mean, there's a lot behind it. There's definitely a lot of emotion, and it still moves. It's not a ballad, but it's really cool. And Josh comes in on the second verse, and it's really cool.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, they originally sent me like a demo with him singing it, and then we actually kept a couple of things from the demo, specifically Stevie's sort of what you call it, lap steel,
yeah,
and also his piano track. And Keith said, well, he basically said, well, that's exactly what I would have played anyway. So we kept his piano track, and then Keith added the Hammond and all that, and then and everything else was done from scratch, from different from their demo, but we kept it at the same tempo, so we were able to use a couple of things from their demo.
We could cherry pick their performances and add it to the final thing. You see,
I think it's so cool, and that's one thing I'm envious about rap is they're never making demos. They're always making the album from day one. So, we used to make demos, and you go to the big studio and you have to get it done in 2 days. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's so cool that I think that's what do you guys think about that? That you're always
I personally always think your whole career you make demos and then you spend thousands and thousands of dollars trying to recreate what you did on the demo.
I know. Thing is, we all grew up at the same time, and there was the rule book. this is what you're supposed to do, and the rule book has long gone out the window. It's the technology and the fun and the writing and everything. We do whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
Whatever makes the track as best it can be.
And you don't necessarily, ideally, it'd be great if we were all in a room with, with Buck Cherry doing a song, but we're on one side of the Atlantic, they're on the other side. So basically, it's just a lot of emails going back and forth, and then, I have my own studio, and I guess they do as well. So it's just sending stuff back and forth, and then just piecing it together. It's pretty easy to do,
And I'm 300 miles from him, and I put my guitar on and send it to him. It's there's no shame in it. We're making music.
There's and there's the thing about sitting in your house, really getting something together and just having your space, as opposed to the whole band looking at you like you're spending our money.
And also, you're not, it's not costing any money. That's the main thing. So there's not that pressure there. You can do it, come back to it, whatever, until you get it how you want it, without the pressure of all the financial stuff.
Thing is, we grew up in that era. The whole band goes to the studio, everything. But times change. If they didn't, we'd still be riding around with a horse and cart. You go with whatever you can do to get the end product, what you want, and still enjoy it.
And I like it better because, remember, you always have the one selfish guy that wants to eat the whole day up and all the time up. They're like, okay, we got 15 minutes for guitars. We just spent like 3 months on vocals and drums, and now we got 3 minutes for guitars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah. But it's cool, like that, this approach you're doing. I was listening, and like, it is different, but it's still the same. I was thinking, what happens in the Choirboys when one of you gets on like a dance kick? Like, someone's like, oh, I'm into this band lately, or I'm in the drum loops, and what are the parameters in keeping it? Because you've never lost the plot. That's what I think is really cool about it.
Well, we're not stuck into one style, but I guess once we all get together and play together, it just has a certain sound. But getting back to like the collaboration thing, the first one I did, which just got to put a couple of finishing touches to it, was I did a song with Dan Reed from Dan Reed Network.
Funky, like, talk about dancing. I could go really dancey in 2 seconds.
Yes, and I had this song that I wrote when I was on like vacation, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. Just an idea that I did on like GarageBand on my phone. I took a guitar with me and put this track together, and I thought, wow, this sounds like something maybe a Dan Reed Network would do. So when we thought about doing this album, I was like, hang on, I've got this song. It is different for us. But I sent it over to Dan, and he did the lyrics for it. I had the chorus and the title. It's called So Glorious. And he just wrote these amazing lyrics and sent the vocal over. So, it'll be the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Use some of his, his vocal in certain parts of the song. We both sing on the chorus together, like that kind of thing.
Did you guys obviously we all love Rod Stewart. When bands like Rod Stewart went slightly disco, do you think I'm Sexy or Kiss, I Was Made for Loving You? I love that disco era.
I love it. Oh, I'll defend them to the end. If Rod sings it, it suits me.
But that disco era was pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty refreshing.
Yeah.
I DJ and I put that right next up to current hip. It doesn't something.
All you have to do is listen to the bass guitar.
Bill Chen, come on.
Bill Chen, yeah.
Fant, Duncan.
I mean, basically, I can't remember which song came first, but I remember when we did the first Choirboys album, we did it with Jim Cregan, who was, you know, was Rod's guitar player during that time, and George Tutko, who was his the engineer on those songs. And when he did "Do You Think I'm Sexy," they it was either the Stones were copied them or they were copied the Stones. I can't remember which one came first, but yeah, with "Miss You."
Yeah, the octaves.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was the
yes,
same thing.
yes.
Same thing, same tempo. There's obviously the 120 tempo or whatever it is. Yeah, and like Kiss.
I Was Made for
Yeah,
Love.
yeah. Well, thank you.
It's Kiss's
Okay, no problem.
biggest song. It's cool, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that they play it now, but it fits now, but then it seems so weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to, sometimes you've got to, what's the word, push the boat out a bit. And, you know, most people will accept anything. If it's a good song's a good song, you know?
Thing is, it was of the time. People like to criticize because some people are just negative, you know. I just like to enjoy. So, you know, I think they're all great tracks.
Yeah.
And it was a period of time, you know, it's like the Bee Gees, everything. There isn't a bad song amongst them.
Oh, no, you're right. And that's what I, with the Buck Cherry song, the medicine, it was cool that it pushed out, but it still seems like you guys. That's really cool.
Because it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're obviously we're in a different era of the band now. So there's certain things that we can do differently now. You know, obviously my voice is different. But it gives me more freedom as sort of writing. You know, I mean, Paul's writes some of the songs, and you know, I write you know, a lot of the songs, but it's just I know what I can sing, you know, so it's a different approach.
Yeah, yeah. And how many did you I know Aerosmith pretty much doesn't have B-sides. They keep what they as a band collectively record, at least in the, you know, the 70s. Do you guys throw out a lot, or is this
No, we're probably similar. You know, it's usually like we aim for 10 songs, and you know, sometimes we might have a couple left over, but usually it's just we try and write it and condense it down, you know, so this is what the album's going to be, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, the exciting thing about this one, you know, I mean, it was Guy's idea, the whole collaboration thing, and it, you know, then it grew and grew, and then, you know, it was mainly Guy that, you know, was contacting people, and then we started writing. You know, I wrote a song specifically with Angry Anderson in mind.
Yeah.
Rose Tattoo, you know, and then, you know, everything takes its twists and turns.
And that one's going to have Scotty Hill from Skid Row is going to do some slide guitar on there, because I saw something on one of his I don't know, his Instagram or whatever, and he was saying how much he loved playing slide, but he doesn't get to play it a lot in Skid Row. So I thought, oh, I'll give him a call, see if he wants to play on one of our tracks, and he was really excited to do it, you know.
So the whole thing's growing its own legs at the same time that, you know, we're steering the ship, but it's like going like this and that, and that's the fun thing about it.
I mean, another one that we're close to sort of finishing, just basically, actually, he's just got to put a guitar solo on it, and I'm sent it over to Charlie from Blackberry Smoke, and he's going to be singing on it and playing some electric guitar on it as well. It's called Autumn Rains.
And I have to say, it's one of the most beautiful songs I have ever heard in my life.
Thank you.
No, I mean it.
So yeah, there's no pressure then. Now he's told it's one of the best songs.
I'm from the Avenues in Blythe, and it made me cry.
Yeah, it's a nice song, and it'll be great with Charlie on it. I can hear him on it.
It's beautiful.
That's awesome. And what's the writing process for you guys? You said you're on vacation, you're just always writing? Is that what it pretty much is?
It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, songs come to you, ideas come to you all the time, you know. And I mean, now with the technology, you've got your phone there, so you can either sing into the phone, or if you've got a guitar handy. And then, you know, I sort of forget about them. Then I'll go through them every now and then. Go, oh, actually, that could work for this, or this could work for that. I never have like a full song until we decide, like, okay, this needs working on, and it might need, like, say, a middle eight, or, you know, a proper arrangement.
Yeah, there's nothing better than a deadline.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah.
Everybody, doesn't matter what you do, whether you're a plumber, a painter, cobblestick maker, a little bit of a deadline. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got the ingredients, because the guy said, whether you're sitting on the underground or on an aeroplane, your brain never stops.
Yeah.
And you know, you hear somebody say something, ooh, you write it down.
Yeah.
And you're just in tune with people.
I mean, at the moment, it's more, like I said, it's a different process now, because you know, I used to write, you know, quite a lot of lyrics as well, but now, you know, apart from the songs that Paul does, where Paul would usually come in with a whole song, now I'm sort of, you know, I really think about the lyrics. That's the thing that takes the longest for me, but you know, because I'm the one singing it and putting it out there, I've got to stand behind it, you know.
Right. Now, I love that Paul was talking so highly of your song, the song, but do you write so that the whole band has to stand behind it, like a collective experience, something they can relate to? I mean, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I mean, we've never had any issues ever, really, where when someone sort of said, well, I don't like that. You know, we all kind of have an idea of what we think we should sound like, you know.
And you know, these guys trust us.
Yeah. What's the biggest secret to not losing the plot? Because you guys haven't lost the plot. It's amazing, because so many bands are out there that just completely lose the plot.
Well, I think for me, it's like I always feel like well, especially now, it's like if you feel like you're kind of like a new band, and you've got to prove yourself.
Determination.
And you know, so I always feel like I've got to try and prove myself to the outside world. So I don't sort of feel like, hey, I'm really successful, and you know, I don't have to try too hard. I've you know, got to really, I still feel like I've got to really try to, you know, make the best music I can, you know.
Yeah, because it's come back around in a sense where you see Blackberry Smoke, Rival Sons, these bands that it's all brand new. It's a brand new breed of bands. I think I would forget which ones for the Black Crowes, and you had two sets of fans, old fans, new fans, and it's so cool seeing the worlds merge.
But you can feel the energy of that whole thing, and feel a new movement, which the bands want and the fans want, because it was like in London, you know, when we were first there in different bands and everything, there was a scene, and it was just brilliant, and everybody would be buzzing and everything.
And it was competition.
It was competition, yeah.
It's like when you're younger, it feels like it's like rival gangs or something.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a band, and you sort of, you know, you think all the other, you know, everyone's all friendly to each other, but behind their backs they're going, you know, we're better than they are. And now it's sort of, you know, with age, I don't feel any competition with anyone. I you know, like you said, bands like Blackberry Smoke, Rival Sons, I mean, great bands, you know, and, you know, using traditional template or whatever, but doing their thing with it, you know.
Yeah, we're all on the same journey.
Yeah, yeah, and like you say,
it's a good one.
You guys look cool. It's nobody. We all evolve. I cut my hair. We all evolve to stay, almost like get older to stay younger. You know, I mean, you guys don't look ridiculous at all, because you know.
Thanks.
This is the first interview I've ever done with my glasses on.
Yeah,
this is a big thing.
It's a I love my
world exclusive.
World exclusive.
Yeah, I love it. You know, it's funny. I get my I get my glasses at this place, Caddies. It said "Grow old, cat classy," whatever. That's kind of the thing. That thing of just staying cool because I mean, you guys look great. It's. I mean, you remember when we were kids looking at the Traveling Wilburys or Tom Petty, he was older than you're like, he's cool. There was nothing not cool.
Yeah, I mean, like things. I mean, like you mentioned Tom Petty. It's like, you know, for myself, Paul, I know Keith as well. I mean, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers are sort of like I'll use the word template again, you know, like for, you know, a cool band, you know, and Tom Petty, he's not like Jagger or Steven Tyler, you know, dancing around, which is cool in its own way, but he didn't have to do that. He was just writing great songs and projecting them, you know, as Tom Petty, you know.
Yeah. The persona, the energy, and the actual brilliance is what you strive for, because they are your mentors.
Yeah.
You know, I saw Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers in '77 opening up for Nils Lofgren, and I'll never. If I shut my eyes, I can remember every note. And I remember they opened up with American Girl, and I was just a young fella, and it was just like,
Wait,
what is this?
They opened up for Nils from Springsteen's guitar player. They opened up for his solo band. Wow.
Newcastle City Hall, 1977.
Wow. Wow.
Oh yeah, I could tell you some stories.
That's insane. Now, you know, when you guys cruise around and playing now in 2023, I was thinking it's so different. You have in-ear monitors. Do you guys roll in-ear monitors? Things confuse me. Like I can't commit to that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're old school. We're old school. We've got a couple of guys in the band who use in-ears, and I definitely thought about it, and I might do it in the future. I don't know, but I just feel a little bit, once I've got these earphones in, I feel a bit disconnected. You know,
it's never going to happen.
It's not for him. It won't.
Never.
Yeah,
hey, old school.
But I know it's good for, you know, it's good for vocalists, because, you know, you're not struggling with, you know, at some places sometimes it's a struggle with the vocals, you know, hearing yourself, you know.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm still old school as well.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get older school.
And even when you go to a club now, the banner, half the time you're sending a JPEG for your banner. It looks so good. It's just weird. Like so many little things are changing.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool. We're talking about the backdrop.
Oh,
you know?
fantastic.
Yeah, we just played Hellfest in France, which was an amazing festival. It was like, you know, 60,000 people. And we played at midday, and it's like 60,000 people out there, you know, and with on the main stage with Def Leppard and Motley Crue and Alter Bridge and Skid Row.
Papa Roach,
yeah. It was a really great festival for us, and we had this massive banner, you know, the Choirboys logo, the biggest I've ever seen it. Just looked amazing. Or just like I said, just from send them a JPEG, you know, and then you end up with this amazing backdrop, you know.
Speaking of Leopard, Joe Elliott recently played your song on his show. He's a fan of the new music. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, he's a big. Joe's obviously, you know, we go back a long way with Joe, and but he's just been very supportive of, you know, when we sort of went through our sort of split, so to speak. It's about 1.5 years now, and it was pretty rough at the start. It's not as bad now, you know, because we proved it to a lot of people. You know, we've done, you know, we're on about our 5th or 6th major tour now. This is our 2nd tour of America since all this happened. So, but you know, getting back to Joe, he's just been really supportive and really encouraging, and especially to me, you know, about my singing and everything, and he said he's a big fan of my voice, which is you know, coming from him, it's quite.
And the thing is, nice. You know, as we know him, I mean, he says it as it is. You know, he's not sort of blowing smoke.
Yeah,
he believes in us.
Yeah,
which is, you know, he's a great friend, first of all.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, it's great for Guy because obviously the Guy stepped into the fray, even though he didn't want to, and then you've got somebody, you know, of that level actually saying, you know what,
Yeah,
totally believe in you.
but we had so many other bands that were really encouraging, and you know, when we're playing with these other bands, you know, people like Skid Row and that, you know, Buck Cherry guys, you know, people that were, and you know, like Chips Enough, people who really behind us, you know, and you know, who've been through similar situations themselves, and they just said, you know, you know, you just got to ride it out and just, you know, believe in what you're doing, you know, and now it's feeling a lot, we're feeling a lot more well, personally I'm a lot more confident now. I feel more like a singer frontman rather than a guitar player stepping in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you've made it your own.
It's taken to now, you know, to feeling totally comfortable with it now.
That's got to be a journey to just, like you said, to step up, because there is a point where like someone like Izzy Stradlin never really became the front. It was cool. I love the Juju Hounds, but you're a frontman. He was, you know, the guy with the side band. It almost felt like with the Juju.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's I guess when people see us, they expect some sort, you know, they expect some kind of show, you know, and obviously I'm playing guitar, so but yeah, back in the day I'd play a lot of the, you know, back in the old days I was the lead guitar player, but I've always felt more like a rhythm guitar player anyway. I enjoy that more, and Paul's, you know, amazing lead guitar player, so you know, it's sort of morphed into more like, you know, I'm just concentrating on the singing, and I just happen to be playing guitar, you know.
And at the same time, you know, every day it becomes its own thing. You know, it's not us making a plan. You do this, you do this. It's just us who've played together for so many years doing what we do, but it's morphing into what it's becoming, which is a great thing.
Well, even with your bass player, like Chip just coming in, it just seems like, oh, and he's going to play a few shit. You just do what you have to do to survive. And that there's, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of people from the 70s, you want a crazy answer. And it was just, there's no crazy answer. It was just flowing.
No, but the great thing is, it's like with Chip playing bass, he totally gets us. He knows exactly how the songs should be played, the groove, the harmonies, everything, and his energy. It's like a bolt of lightning. He's so brilliant.
Well, for me, it's like it's quite an honor really having him play with us, because I've known Chip, well, since they put their first album out, because it was the same time Choirboys first came out, and I always thought Enough's Enough was not similar to us musically, but the Choirboys and Enough's Enough, there was all the sort of hair metal, whatever you call it, going on, you know, the glam thing going on from LA. You sort of get lumped in with a lot of that stuff, but we were sort of really sort of outside of that, really. We were a bit of an anomaly to it, you know, same as Enough's Enough were. And but I always thought they had such great songs, you know, and having someone that sort of talented as a songwriter as well, wanting to play in our band, I thought, well, that's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah.
And Chip's playing bass on the album.
Yeah, he's playing bass. That's Chip on the Medicine track. That's him playing bass.
Oh, cool. I mean, what a rock and roll titan. He's just so cool. And just, I've had him on. I mean, large person. Large.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Large. If you don't get it, I don't think you're going to get it. You know what I mean? You got to be able to roll that.
If you don't get it, you don't deserve it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, man.
Yeah.
So when does the album come out again? I think it comes out.
Well, you know, the record company will tell you something else, and then
you don't know.
you know, as talking about deadlines and stuff. But I think it's aiming to be finished for September, and then find the right moment to put it out, because you know obviously we need to be doing gigs around it and all that kind of thing. So we want to give it the best sort of shot it can have. But I think what we're going to do, like we've seen a lot of other bands do, as in like maybe Skid Row, Buck Cherry, they put out 3 or 4 songs at least before the actual physical album's available. So people will already be familiar with some of the songs
and the new sound,
you know.
Yeah.
And so by the time the album comes out, you know, you can play a lot of the album and without losing people's interest, you know, because you know how it is. Some people go, "Here's a new song," and then people go off to the bar, you know.
I saw Rick Nielsen once, and he said, "I got some good news and some better news. The good news is we have a good new album out. The great news is we're not going to play any songs from it."
Yeah, I mean, it's the same for every band, you know, especially in the rock and roll, you know, classic rock genre. You know, it's a shame, really. But the thing is it's hard for new songs to have the impact that they would have had, say, 20 or 30 years ago, where it was all around radio airplay, and if you had a big radio hit, it became a hit, and then it's there, it's sort of embedded in your
like a
musical DNA or something, you know. And now it's like, you know, like you get people like Kiss who said, well, why would they bother putting out new music, because all people just want to hear Detroit Rock City or whatever, you know.
Kiss introduces a song here like Psycho Circus or Hey There Delilah, and I think I actually get attached because they don't barrage me with new material. I think that's one thing. Some bands barrage you with new material, and if you go, you know, when they hate what made them popular, I think it's a trade-off, and that was what was in the 70s and 80s. Bands kind of traded off a little bit. It was about entertainment. It wasn't like you're going to go see a whole new album. And
the thing is, I think you can for a certain amount of your fans, you could do, you know, you can do a thing like you can do a special gig where you perform the whole of the album or something, you know, for the people who want to hear that. But at the same time, you have to keep it interesting for yourself as well, you know. You know, and what's been good, you know, in the last year and a half is like we just completely changed our live set, because before we were kind of stuck in a thing where we would just play, you know. To me it was becoming like almost a nostalgia act, because we were having, you know, just playing the songs from the first album, which are great songs. I'm proud of those songs, but so many other albums, and it was getting to the point where we'd do a couple of new songs off whatever the new album was, and then after a while, you know, somebody in the band would lose interest in it, and we just end up you end up going back into the old album, you know. So
back to default.
Yeah. So basically, we've really drastically overhauled the set. You know, we changed the set, but we still, you know, of course, we still play 7 o'clock and I Don't Love You Anymore, you know, but we're bringing in a lot of other tracks, and to some people they might be like new tracks, but it gives you that thing where, like I was saying, you really want to prove yourself, you know.
I think Leopard on that last tour, they were really good about introducing new material. That they're a band that introduces just enough and still brings you back. You never feel bored. It's almost right there, and then you get this. They manage new songs, and I think when you have new songs, the reason we love old songs is because we made memories to those songs along with them.
Absolutely. But like you say, you know, Def Leppard, you know, they're very good. It's a perfect blend.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I mean, even they would open with a new track.
Yeah, they open with that new track, don't they? So, which is quite, you know, ballsy to do that, really, when you're playing the size venues that they're playing. But like I said, that I think they did the same thing. They want to keep it interesting for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nutshell what Guy's saying. It's like, you know, as musicians, writers, you know, you can't just go, well, hey, we've got the tracks, we'll just go out and play.
Yeah.
you know, it's as a human being, whatever you do, you know, you have to keep doing it because that's what you do.
I think the other thing is like with each album, you keep, you know, each album you keep making, you introduce, you know, 2 or 3 songs, maybe 3 or 4 songs into the set from the album, then a couple of songs inevitably drop off, and then you might end up with one song from that album that has embedded itself into the set. It fits, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And you know, with the so many, having made so many albums now, you know, it's hard to sort of cherry pick what goes in the set. But
yeah, and you see
at
that
least we've got plenty to choose from.
yeah, it's a nice problem to have.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah,
beautiful curse.
Yeah.
you know, and it's yeah. You said, I was going to say, you see it with Springsteen. He introduces a new song or two every year, and over the years it's grown into 4 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure you have 2 different types of fans. I'm sure you have someone that grew up like, oh, the Choirboys, I'm going to a concert at the Bowery tonight to see this. They're still around. Then you have, you know, fans that have just followed everything you've done, like that hold you to, you know,
Yeah.
different types of fans. I'm sure.
I think what's happened with us, with our you know, situation like the last year and a half, the audience has changed a little. It seems like there was, you know, some element of the audience that was sort of just there just because they wanted to see some sort of facsimile of what the band was in 1989. And then what we've got now, which we seem to have more of now, is the fans are just music fans, you know, that they like the Choirboys, they might like, you know, Lady Gaga, or they might like, you know, Fleetwood Mac, or, you know, anything, you know, they're music fans, you know.
Yeah, like the world is everything.
Which is quite refreshing, you know. We've had a lot of people that probably came along just out of curiosity to see what it was going to be like if we could do it. And now, you know, we've proved ourselves, and you know, the size of the audience is no different than it ever was, especially when we were going into Europe. It was amazing, you know. Spain, we did a 10-date Spanish tour, and Chip was playing bass with us on that tour. And we've been all through Europe 3 or 4 times now, lots of festivals. So it's been great, you know. Like I said, I feel a lot more comfortable and confident in it now.
And including the UK.
Yeah, we just finished the UK tour, and that went well as well.
Yeah.
I saw recently, it totally makes sense. I saw maybe a year or 2 ago, the Black Crowes, and they had one of the newer rock bands. I'll even say Dirty Honey. They were okay, but all I thought there was people that didn't know who Dirty Honey were, and they liked it a little bit. But the Choirboys would have destroyed this crowd if you guys rolled up before the Black Crowes. It's like nobody knowing who you are, you just destroy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's been a sort of to our detriment, really, because, you know, obviously we do have a reputation, and I'd like to think that we're, you know, a very good live band. So some people, you know, maybe some bands do think twice about having us as a support band. You know, we've had that before, and but you know, we're just going out. We'll play with anyone. You know, I don't care where. I mean, sometimes I actually prefer playing earlier nowadays, or
absolutely,
you know, doesn't bother me being further down the bill or whatever, as long as there's people there. You know, rather than being the main band, you've got to wait until, you know, especially in Europe, wait till like midnight to play or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, different energy, and you know, it's better to have the non-tired energy, which I can't believe Def Leppard could keep all those people in that stadium tour. When I looked at the end of the night, that never happens with 2 bands, and I looked up here in San Francisco, and they had every single person. That was an amazing feat. Speaking of Leppard.
Yeah, but the cream always rises to the top, and you know, Def Leppard, I mean, it's just every song is a banger.
Yeah, I mean, how they put their songs together, you know, you know, they're a rock band, but they're not written from a rock
No, they're like the
standpoint. They're more like a pop. They're more like pop songs, you know.
but you know, they're like even their preparation, obviously, because you know we're very close with them. They're like a Formula One racing team. Everything about them, you know, they're like a, you know, world class football team. They have that attitude to everything.
When we were
Every step of it.
when we were recording one of the Down and Outs albums, and I was doing a lot of you know, the sort of harmonies and stuff, and that was quite a experience doing that with Joe and Ronan, who's their producer and engineer, to see how they put the harmonies together, which is completely different than how I do it. But it was, you know, it was more like, you know, like the Everly Brothers or something, you know, how they do their harmonies and stuff. You know, it's very clever.
Yeah.
It was a real learning process working with him.
Oh, sure. I mean, they should be up there with Zeppelin. It's funny, in the Bay Area, I interviewed one of the guys that documented a lot of the early Metallica stuff, and he said that like Hetfield just loved On Through the Night. All those guys were glued to On Through the Night. Up here, that's like thrash metal gold. That was really a game changer for a lot of the thrash bands. So,
Well, that's funny, isn't it? Yeah.
you
How
know,
that, yeah. But you can see how they've sort of transitioned from, you know, that first album, and I guess High and Dry, where it was more sort of kind of AC/DC-ish sort of thing, and then it, you know, changed you know, radically with the Pyromania, which was just like,
I
remember when that album came out, you know, when I was a kid, you know, I never came off the turntable, you know.
well, basically, you know, they invented a new sound
yes. I
with
mean,
that album,
Photograph.
and you know, they set the benchmark for themselves and other bands who didn't quite reach their benchmark. But the great thing for them, as you know, fans and friends, I love the fact that they're still up there, because we know their work ethic, and it's pretty sturdy.
Yeah. And well, like you guys and them, bands that have been through a lot and are still here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Still doing it. Well, you know,
Can't keep a good man down.
yeah, just lifting someone's night, man. And that's what it is. You know, you guys do for people when they come and see you. And thank you for the music for all the years, and look forward to more music to come and the album to come out.
The Band Rolls On. That's the album title, and that's our
Yeah, that's
creed.
yeah. Like that.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, and say goodbye to everybody. And I'm going to say goodbye to you guys after this. And I'll put links to the tour dates and everything. We have people from overseas here, and your guys are going overseas soon, so we'll get some people out to the shows. We were talking about you the other day, and people had already been to the shows in Chicago and stuff. So you got the right audience here.
Great.
Happy 4th of July.
Thank you.